Despite not being affected by any of these incidents, the San Pablo Nortes wanted to send a message of their own. So 2009 would be a wild year back and forth between both sides, and unfortunately this brought crime numbers similar to the 1990s. In 2009 there were 47 homicides in Richmond, and that doesn't even include San Pablo. This number gave Richmond a rate of 46 per 100,000. For clarification, that was 3 times higher than Atlanta and double the rate of Oakland. So yes, at this time, Richmond was by far the worst city in Northern California, and this prompted major changes to take place. In 2011, the city voted to demolish the North Richmond housing projects with no plans of rebuilding. Instead, the residents were given housing vouchers to live elsewhere in the county. They also did this with other projects throughout the city. By the end of 2011, Richmond was a whole new place. Thousands of residents were displaced, and this meant rivalries spread out to other cities. Many members were now living elsewhere, but they remained as active as they once were. And that takes us to 2011. By the year 2011, a Richmond rapper named Lil G the Great began blowing up on YouTube. He repped his section hard despite being a Pinole resident. Lil G was from a Northsider area, specifically 17th and Sanford and San Pablo. However, many of his friends were VFLs from North Richmond. So for this reason, Lil G never chose a side and represented Richmond as a whole. This would seem like the safest route for anyone. However, playing neutral has its downsides as well. In early 2012, Lil G began working with rappers from Central Richmond, also known as the Deep Sea. By this time, North and Central Richmond had become bitter rivals. So being that Lil G began rapping with Central rappers, his VFL friends were not happy. But instead of confronting him like a man about it, they did something way worse. After a week or so of arguing with Lil G, VFL decides to make amends, or at least that's what he thought. So on February 21st, 2012, they invite him to hang out in North Richmond. His girlfriend begs him to lay low, telling him that his VFL friends are not trustworthy. But Lil G tells her that they've been friends forever and that they would never set him up. So he heads to Shields Park in North Richmond to meet up. When he arrives, the VFL members are standing in a line. Lil G is confused, so he goes to dap them up. But that's when they raise their hands for a different reason. The moral of the story is that sometimes your girlfriend is the realest one on your team. Well, the sad story led Richmond police on a VFL investigation. They were the wildest guys the Bay Area had ever seen, but for now, there was no evidence. The case would remain open for a few years. In the meantime, VFL was unstoppable. The only thing that could possibly stop them was themselves. Later in 2012, a VFL member named Luis Hernandez was arrested for DPing a fellow member. Apparently, the member had given up information on cases from 2008. Interestingly enough, after being arrested, Luis became an informant himself. In 2015, Luis told investigators who claimed the life of Lil G. Why he did this? Well, they gave him $68,000. As a result, 4 VFL members were given life, and Luis Hernandez was sent to another state under a new alias. Today, Richmond is nothing like it once was. The crime levels have plummeted lower than ever before, and that's something to be proud of. Regardless, the Southsiders are still active and feared throughout the Bay Area.